Welcome! Today's session, we're going to learn the first movement in grasping the bird's tail, which is ward off left. This is actually going to build on our previous session of grasping the bird's tail with ward off right, roll back, press, and push. And then at the end of this session, we're going to take the first few movements from the Yang 103 form, which is opening into grasping the bird's tail, and we're going to close our session by ending with cross hands and closing from the Yang 13 form. So we're going to kind of make a tiny little micro form. Are you ready? Let's get started. So the footwork is very standard for ward off left with a little twist. So normally we've been seeing a lean. There's 3 movements in the long form that we have a vertical torso. Ward off left, we have fan through the back, and single whip. So we're going to have a vertical torso in our ward off left. I'm going to mirror you for a moment. So we're going to shift to the left, and we're going to open up our right foot 45 degrees. We're going to sink down and we're going to step out for a normal bow stance where we touch heel, ball, toe, bend the knee. But as you move forward, you're going to shift and turn and make sure that your torso is vertical, so we're not leaning into it. We're going to be sitting up vertical with our torso open towards that corner direction. The big thing to look out for when we do this, as you move forward, make sure that as you turn, your knee doesn't turn with you. So this is going to work our hip flexibility quite a bit. We have to make sure that we keep our crotch rounded enough. We keep that front knee in line as we move forward and turn. Okay, let's do it a few times. So coming back, make sure you have that great shoulders width apart stance. Okay, we shift left a little bit. This will be from opening. And then we're going to turn. Make sure even right now, both knees are in alignment. We sink down, step, move forward, and turn. Now check. Knee over ankle, or did it turn in? Crotch rounded, and what else? Waist relaxed. So our torso is really sitting vertical. Okay, now I want to show you what it's going to look like when we go the direction we practice a form, which is I face away from you. So we're here. We start, we do our opening, we shift left, we turn on the right heel, sink, and then step out, heel, ball, toe, bend knee, move forward and turn. So we're going to be facing this direction. Pretty easy, right? Okay, let's get into the arms. So we start from the beginning of the long form and we do our opening and our hands end up sitting in front of our hips. The first thing you want to notice is that when we shift and we turn on our heel, our torso turns, everything turns together. We're going to bring our left hand forward a little bit and our right hand is going to come back. They're not just going to stay static. They're going to move a little bit. Remember, yin and yang. So left hand is forward, right hand comes back. Now they're going to switch. So you're going to switch and that right hand's going to reach out in front and the left arm is going to come underneath. Now this is kind of similar to ward off right where we're reaching out and we're set up underneath. We're still going to pass over the center of the forearm. But this time, our left arm is going to extend out long and our right hand is going to be sitting in front of our hips. This is something to watch out for. A lot of the times, people end up back here. We want to make sure that you're truly sitting in front of your hip and you're going to have one line from your shoulder, elbow, and wrist all the way out through your fingers out to that side wall. Okay, let's do it a few times. So we do our opening, our palms sit down. As we turn on our heel, the left hand goes forward and the right hand goes back. Then they switch, so they start circling back the other direction. And we close the arms. Then passing over the forearm, we're going to go up and down for ward off left. So the final position of ward off left, we're actually going to look to the side direction. Okay, looking direction, waist, it all plays a role. Right now, we're going to add those in. So first, we turn a little bit. We're still looking forward, and we're going to close. And the torso's a little bit between straight and corner, and we're looking ahead where the action is happening. Then, as we turn our waist, we're going to turn, and we're going to look to the side direction. So knowing the meaning helps a lot, right? So the meaning is similar to ward off right. It's grabbing your opponent's wrist and controlling over the center of your forearm. So we can do this on both sides, right? Now we understand both sides, but it's a little bit different because we're showing a full extension here. We're really going to reach out. Now, if we actually use this in practice, it would only be a small movement, right? Because we have someone's wrist and we're controlling their elbow over the center of our forearm. Now that we know the meaning, let's just do the arms one more time. From sitting down, we turn first. Make sure that left palm goes in front. Then circle back. Close the arms and we would step. Then waist turning, gaze follows the action, ward off left. Right hand in front of the hip, one line with that left arm out to the side direction. Make sure palm is still turning up, engaging through that forearm. Let's do it with the footwork. We start from our parallel stance. We just did opening, we're pressing down. First, we're going to shift a little bit of weight. Then as we turn on our heel, those hands are going to change, going forward and back. Now, sinking down, make sure we get that kind of rounded arms, and then we step. So this is our big checkpoint. Now, turning, extend your arm out and make sure that right hand is by your hip. And again, check. Are you leaned or are you vertical? Extending out, looking to the side wall. Let's do it again. Okay, from what would be opening. This is ward off left. Shift, turn, circle, close, step. Up and down, waist turning, torso vertical. Now that we feel really good about the arms, I've got to turn the other way so you can see what it's actually going to look like when we practice all these moves together. So we start pushing down. We shift left. We turn. We look forward. Circle the arms and step. Then gaze is going to the side with ward off left. Not too bad, right? Let's do it one more time, practicing the way we do it in the form. So from pressing down, we shift and turn. Reaching out, left arm bends underneath, close step. Up and down go together for ward off left. Okay, now just watch one time. I want to show you what's going to happen next. From here, we shift back. Nothing changes. We're going to turn on our left heel, but everything's going to turn together about 45 degrees. Now from here, we're going to show rotate for grabbing, and we're going to let our right fingers point down. Then from here, it's pretty normal of grasping the bird's tail where we close and step. And then we do up and down together. At that point, we already know what we're doing, right? So that particular section will feel easy, okay? So let's talk about it in detail. For just the arms, when we're in ward off left and we're transitioning, we're going to make a movement from our waist. And that waist movement is going to lead our arms, and our arms aren't going to change. It's just going to be a 45-degree turn. Now we're going to turn back. But as we turn back, we're going to show grabbing, which is just this rotation of our palm. And we're going to let our right arm relax because it's going to bend underneath. But it's coordinating those two that makes it look a little bit more challenging. So as we turn, we rotate and we let our fingers come down. Then we close the arms where we bend the right arm underneath, and from here it's just ward off right, up and down. But that transition can sometimes feel a little bit tricky. So from our ward off left, think about how everything is connected from your middle and turn. Now, turn back and rotate your arms. So now this left palm is facing down and your right fingers are pointing to the earth. Then bend that right arm and keep the left one out in front. Then we go up and down together. Ward off right. Okay, now let's try to put it together with the footwork, okay? So we do ward off left. So we have our left leg forward, our right hand is in front of our hip. We say tiger's mouth points to the center of your forearm. First, we shift back a little bit of weight. Now, as you turn on your left heel, nothing changes. Your whole body is just rotating together. Then as you shift left, we're going to show our grab and change our right arm, fingers pointing down. So you're kind of touching with your toes. Then we close the arms as we step out. And we go up and down together for ward off right. Remembering elbow and knee end up in line. Fingertips point to the forearm center. But that's the easy part, right? So let's do that transition again, okay? From ward off left. Left arm's got a nice line, right hand's at your hip. Okay, we're going to shift, nothing changes. Turn on your left heel. Everything goes 45 degrees. We're still looking forward. The action is happening here. You're connecting to someone's arm and you rotate to grab as you shift left. Now bring your arm to the center as you step out. Then perform ward off right. Feels pretty good now, right? Now let's practice ward off left. So we'll go from our opening all the way through to ward off right. So we did our opening. Our hands are sitting in front of our hips. We're going to shift left. And as we turn on the right heel, we're going to rotate. Then we're going to reach out with the right arm. Left arm comes underneath, closed step. Up and down go together for ward off left. Shifting to the right, nothing changes. Everything turns 45 degrees on your left heel. Rotate to show grab as you shift left. Bend that right arm underneath as you step. Up and down go together. Ward off right. Now, one thing we haven't talked about yet, the transition step. Well, if we look at our footwork for ward off left into ward off right, when we shift back and we turn on our left heel, both feet should now be facing to the same direction, okay? Then we shift and we're not just going to pick up and step in a new place, okay? We're going to draw our foot into center first, then we're going to step out. This is important because drawing our foot to center gives us the ability to re-step anywhere we want. It also isn't a clunky movement if we just pick up from here and move a couple of inches forward, okay? So we start with our ward off left. We've got a nice bow stance. We shift first. We turn. Now look at your left foot. Is it matching the direction of your right foot? Now shift. Push off the ball of your foot. Find your center. Draw your foot in and then step out. and move forward. Now making sure we have that lean in our bow stance. You ready to practice? Okay, so let's try and put it all together. So this is the big stuff. So we're gonna do opening and ward off left into ward off right, which comes from the traditional 103 form. But after we get to push, we're gonna close with a parent or cross hands and then into closing from the 13 form. So you now have a, I don't even know, like 1 minute practice or something that you need a few feet, so we no longer have an excuse as to why we didn't practice, because you can do this a few times a day. All right, let's do it. From prepare. So we start shoulders width, fingertips brush the sides, make sure the knees are soft. And we rotate the arms and we lift up for opening. And then we float back down, upper arms, forearms, and palms. So then we shift left and we turn on our right heel and the arms go forward and back. Then they switch, reaching out with the right arm, step out, up and down for ward off, left. Now we shift back, everything turns on the left heel 45 degrees. Then we show rotating. We close the arms and we step out. Up and down for ward off right. Now we have roll back and we shift and turn. Press, touching the center of the forearm. We expand out. And then we have push. Coming over the ball, make sure the palms are sitting forward and push to shoulder height. Now we have cross hands. We shift and that left palm faces forward. We chop and our right foot turns to straight. We shift, we step shoulder width and the right arm comes on the outside. Standing up, palms open to the sky. Rotate the arms from out to in and then float down. Upper arms, forearms, and palms sit in front of your hips. Then fingertips brush the sides of your thighs and you just did a micro little form. Okay, let's run through it a couple of times. Ready? From prepare. Opening, rotate and lift up. And then float down. Grasping the bird's tail, ward off left, shift and turn. Right arm reaching out, left arm underneath, close step. Torso's vertical, left arm pointing to the side wall. Shift back for ward off right, turn on your left heel. Show your grab. Bend that right arm as your foot comes in and then steps out. Ward off right. Roll back. Only go to the corner. Shifting back, you go to the other corner. Then we do press and we expand out. And we have push. And then cross hands. Turn, chop. Looking to that corner. Fingertips point down. Stepping in, right hand on the outside. Closing, stand up, arms open. Rotate out to in, upper arms, forearms, and palms sink down. Then return to your original position. Okay, don't move. One more time. This is how great it is. So we can just repeat. Opening, rotate and lift. Then float down. Shift and turn. Right arm reaches out, left arm underneath for ward off, left. Go over that forearm, make sure that hand's in front of the hip. Shift back. Turn 45 degrees. Rotate to show grabbing. Bend and step. Up and down for ward off right. We roll back. Shift and turn. Press. Expanding out. And push. Cross hands. Turn. Chop as you rotate on your heel. Fingertips point down. Step in. Right arm on the outside. It's double ward off. Stand up, arms open. Rotate out to in. And then closing. Return to the original position. All right. Pretty cool, right? So combining a little bit of each form to make a tiny little micro practice for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you did, click that like button, subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this, and share this video with your friends so they can get started on their Tai Chi practice today too. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon.